What's going on, good brother? How you feeling, man?
No, I'm doing all right. Just trying to maintain every day.
Absolutely, absolutely, as we all are. Word, word. I just wanted to put this together really quick. We've been doing. I've done a couple of these so far, and essentially the idea is, we're all having this shared experience with COVID-19, but we're not all having the same experience. And I think one of the things that would be really helpful for people in general is just to get a get a little bit of insight on other people's personal experiences.
Okay.
Some people are, going through it worse than others. Some people are losing, whole sides of their family, or what I mean, things like that, and not to mention like economic hardships people are experiencing and all that. Um, but I think it would just be really dope and really, really helpful for people if we just had these type of conversations and shared them, and people can take from it whatever they take from it. But it's just to give some like perspective and maybe any lessons learned from this experience and just share them with other people.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? So just to give a breakdown, I think you probably be better to give a breakdown than me of who is Cal Darling.
Born and bred, Milk Native.
Mm-hmm.
Been here all my life. Um, I think I moved maybe once to
Okay.
Elizabeth.
Okay.
Or,
Right.
and he's a musician.
Mm-hmm.
He is a songwriter. He's a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just a whole bunch of other creative stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
Filmmaker.
Filmmaker, alleged anyway, trying to reach stuff to the resume,
True.
DJ,
True
the whole
indeed.
nine, man.
True
But
indeed.
that's who I am, man. I'm here. I love my city. I've been from here. This is home.
Dope.
So
Super dope. So as a firefighter, being on the front lines, as it said, like, can you tell me about like your experience with COVID-19? Is anything in particular?
Well, for me, it's funny you said that everybody's calling it the front lines, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's not exactly the front line. I no longer work in the field.
Okay.
So I work in a more behind the scenes.
Like administrative? Like you run?
Yeah, more an administrative tip. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm behind the scenes, and however, I do engage guys on the job. Some
Yes.
guys have never come to where I am to handle stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't engage the public as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I have to go to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It doesn't affect me
Right.
personally as it's been affecting others, the guys that actually go out there and step into someone's home. So that's a little bit of the blessing I guess that I'm experiencing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Having that, working and not seeing people is
Right.
a little trippy.
Yep. Yep.
Not seeing people around the city as much.
Yeah.
But it's almost sort of business as usual for me. Sort of.
Okay.
I'm going through my normal day to day.
Yeah.
I get up, I go to work, I come home.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of an introvert anyway. I stay home and do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not experiencing it in a very
like extreme way. Right.
No, not really. Not really. It's just more of a just concern for others.
Yeah.
That's really where I'm at.
Just
worrying and hoping that everyone is being safe and doing whatever.
Right.
We're putting in place to keep safe.
Right. So, one of the things that's been on in the forefront, in this whole experience has been music. You know what I mean? Whether it's like, D Nice and the parties he's doing, or the producer battles, or, just like music has been, I mean, we've always known music is medicine. We've always known like music is incredibly powerful, is universal. You know what I mean? But you being a musician, being a songwriter, being a DJ, like, has there been any change in your life in terms of like the types of music that you're playing or the way your relationship with music is?
So that's funny you brought that up. For me, because I mean that's I have a production
Mm-hmm.
And that's sorry, hold on a second. Yeah, I have a production company, and my business is suspended right now due to
Right.
everything that's going on. I've made attempts at DJing online, doing the things like D Nice, which is it's kind of funny you said that because I had an idea. So right before D Nice started,
Mm-hmm.
young lady I was doing a pop up party for her
Mm-hmm.
shop, and it got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Just hitting
Right.
and it got canceled. So in a joking manner, I said, we should just do it online. We should
Right.
just. And then a couple of days later, the flyer for D Nice's thing came up, and everybody was there, and it was kind of cool. So I was like, okay, but I haven't had the success rate that he had and other people have had in doing it. Whether it's the social media platforms not allowing me to play,
right?
So it's been a bit of a challenge trying to be that person who offers something to the people.
Yeah.
Trying to connect with the people, and I'm not allowed the space to do so. It's a little tricky.
Yeah, I know that like certain DJs I've heard about have talked about like the platforms have been a hindrance. Like I think Questlove talked about it. Somebody mentioned to me like doing using other platforms, whether it's like TikTok or what's this other one? There's another one that I think Questlove talked about. He was gonna like move his party over to, which is it's difficult to do that because
I've been using Twitch. That's been
Twitch. Yeah.
They allow what Twitch does is allows you to play live, which is what you want.
Yeah.
The only problem is if your session is recorded, the playback is muted in certain areas. Depending on what copyright song you might have. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, but as far as using it as a platform to entertain the folks, 100%.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. That's why I used it last night, as a matter of fact. So.
Right. Okay. Dope. So I think you would be one of the most appropriate people to have this conversation with, man. Teddy Riley and Babyface.
Uh-oh. You trying to get me in trouble. What now?
So, the first attempt, we'll say, everybody saw how that played out. Everybody saw what was going down. Somebody raised a really good point to me, though, in terms of that first attempt with Teddy Riley. And their point was Teddy Riley doing too much, or was Teddy Riley taking advantage of the opportunity to create content and own the IP of it? So, like, if that had gone off without a hitch and he had that all recorded, would we be thinking of it differently?
That's a good question. I'm going to say he was doing too much, and I'm going to tell you why. For the platform, he was doing too much.
For sure.
Teddy has a website of his own. He right before that first attempt, he had a live concert, like a week ago.
Okay.
That I watched. It was on his website, streaming live or whatever. And but then to do this platform, see, here's the thing that people misunderstand. The whole purpose of this, I'm assuming Swiss and Tim must have did something first, and then they evolved into, we should do this.
Yeah, they used to do these like before. Yeah.
Right. So it evolved into like a thing, like, let's pair up so-and-so, and let's just make a thing out of it. And I think what Teddy failed to realize was what the whole purpose of that was, which was really just to get people together. We're all home.
Right.
We're all quarantined, regular people, celebrity people.
Yeah.
Everyone's home. Yeah. And for us to be in a space, maybe not physically, but to be in a virtual space with those celebrity people that we're fans of, even other celebrities are fans of.
Right.
You just sit there with them and listen to them play their music. It was unheard of, man. And that's what, I mean, without buying a ticket, without going to a concert.
Right.
So for him to do what he was doing, it was like, dude, that's not exactly what we're doing here. Like, we respect, your showmanship, but that's not what we're doing here. We're just sitting here, all of us are on laptops and phones.
Right.
We just listening to some music, bro. That's all we doing.
Right.
And I think that's what he lost it. So the second one, you know,
Right.
it went better.
Right.
It was much better. I know he had some internet problems, but it was way better, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the energy of that was like, yeah, dude, that's what we're doing here. That's why we're here, is to just connect with each other for a second.
Now let's talk about the catalogs, though.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna tell you, I take Teddy Riley over Babyface.
Well, now see, I'm a songwriter, so I'm a face guy in general.
Yeah.
However, Teddy's got a resume, man. His resume is
sick.
It goes back, bro.
Sick.
Goes back.
Yeah.
People forget where he came from.
Right.
Some people don't even know he did the show. Some people didn't know he did those songs. You know what I mean?
The Whispers.
Some people know that him and Babyface both worked with Bob.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dude, his resume is mean resume.
Mean resume.
Yeah, mean resume.
Yeah.
Who you think won? You think Teddy won?
Like when I look back at the song track for track, the song list.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry. To me, it's gonna be, and again, they make different kinds of music. They make different kinds of R&B.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Somebody posted that Babyface is the wedding, and Teddy's the reception.
Exactly. So
I had a problem with a couple of this. Not a problem with, but Teddy played a couple of records that wasn't necessarily his top tier smashes that everybody knows. But there was some stuff he did with some prominent people.
Okay.
So I think he played it just to kind of like
Yeah.
It was
right.
That song.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You know, that kind of vibe. But I enjoyed it, man, thoroughly.
It's kind of hard to get around My Prerogative, Remember the Time, and what's another joint that's just like Teddy's got joints that is like any party that you're gonna be at, that's like a party worth being at.
It can be played.
One of them joints gonna get played.
Something's gonna get played.
You can't say the same, and again, it's just different kinds of R&B. You can't say the same for Babyface, but
unless maybe it's a Tony Braxton hit or something like that. It's got some up tempo.
He's got a little groove to it,
A little TLC maybe.
Right.
But other than that,
right. You're not really gonna hear much of Babyface's catalog like that
until Last Call.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
That's when you're gonna hear some faces stuff.
Yeah.
Last Call. You know what I mean?
I think it's wild though, man. Like aside from all of the the nuances and whatnot of all of this, like things are happening that are going to be historical in their context. Like that's going to be history, regardless of how you feel about whichever producer or their catalog or the technical difficulties. Like we're going to remember that out of this. You know what I mean? We're going to remember COVID-19 and however long this thing takes. And we're always going to bring up Teddy and Babyface.
Oh, forget forever.
You know?
Forever. That's like 4 million people.
It's like insane.
I mean, I'm happy because I was one of the people that got in.
Right.
So I got into the club.
Right.
I didn't get booted.
Right.
But man, about 4 million people were trying to watch that thing at one time.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. Like these guys have packed out arenas, right?
For sure.
But never that many people.
Never.
One time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's like some Live Aid type numbers. That's like that's international numbers.
That's for the history books right there, for sure. Like forget COVID-19, man. Teddy, Babyface.
Right.
That's what was it.
Right. How did you feel about like did you get to check in on D-Nice's, not the very first one, but the one that went like 100,000 viewers? Were you there for that one?
Yes, the first one.
Yeah.
That first one.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there, man. I was there when it was about. Actually, the funny thing was, I was there earlier on. So it was just at the time, a few thousand people.
Right.
Actually, I was there when it's a few hundred people, and then I came back in, and we were like a few thousand. Just kind of hovering at 2 or 3 people. That's it. And the next thing you know, man, 100K. It was like, and he did what, like 9 hours straight?
Yeah.
I don't even think I got that much music, bro. Like, I don't even think I own 9 hours worth of music, dude. Like, really? That's how you gonna do it?
Right.
It was unbelievable, bro. It really was.
One of the things that I take away from that one that I thought was so dope was watching D-Nice be so like just honest. Like he's humble. He's a humble dude.
Right,
You know what I mean? Like he's not, an arrogant dude or self important or anything like that.
right,
Like he knows his place in the canons of hip hop and music in general, but he doesn't wear it on his chest.
right.
And so like to see him like bug out about like you said, different celebrities that will pop in, and then this person pops in, and then this one, and he's like his mind is blown every 10 seconds
Right.
because of the next person that came in. You know what I mean? That was dope to see that. Yeah. That was like an
But
experience.
like I said, again, it speaks to the same thing of the whole battle thing.
Mhm.
Like we're all just home,
Right.
all just in the house.
Right.
You know, First Lady Michelle, she in the house.
She in the house.
What's she doing?
Right. Right.
Everybody's in the house, so we don't have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Get on our phones and see what's going on.
Right.
And, I mean, thank God we have that technology. I was saying to somebody, what if this happened in like '91?
Exactly.
Or something.
Exactly.
We lose our minds right now.
Yeah.
Home doing nothing, just don't know what to do with ourselves. Maybe a few board games, maybe
Maybe
Nintendo or something. Maybe.
Yo, I remember we did and this is not the same type of experience, but when Superstorm Sandy or Hurricane Sandy hit Jersey, and I remember like taking out power for a few days. So like internet was not a thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like it was 5 days, and it was like near death.
Like what are we doing?
5 days of no stove, no microwave, no internet, no refrigerator, right?
Like what are we gonna do now?
Right. It was
you
crazy.
Have just cable and stuff, if that.
If that. It was like
crazy.
Yeah, it was wild, man. But that was like a board game experience for sure. I was into the board games during that.
Oh, you had to. You had to pull out. You had to dust off the battleship.
Right. Game of life. Yeah.
And whatnot.
Yeah.
Life. Yeah, man. You had to bust out the life game for real.
Word up.
Crazy.
So, when it comes to like, you said it's really kind of like business as usual in terms of your day-to-day movings around, but like what about any observations of other people, like in your family or other people that you work with? Has anything stuck out to you?
So I've only had one person close to me, if you will, that's contracted the virus. I don't know. I'm sorry, that would be two. I'm lying. Okay. That's two. A friend of mine's brother. I believe. Oh, I may be actually pushing that. I know he was in intensive care. I don't know why. Okay. I'm making the assumption that might have been the case.
Right.
He passed away. My god sister's actual father was in the hospital. I don't know his status now.
Yeah.
Those are the only like two people that I personally knew or know that may have been hospitalized for the virus.
Right.
Other than that, it's not hitting me close to home. I'm a little shocked at the behavior of the people. Like people are not necessarily, trying to be safe. That's kind of bothering me a little bit. I think it's kind of weird. But I'm just waiting for the day that this thing is done, just to see if people are different in that regard. Right. Are we going to be better?
Right.
Are we going to are we going to not take for granted
that
personal experience? That's the thing I'm kind of waiting on right now.
Yeah.
I don't watch the news that much, bro, to be honest with you. I typically it's a thing. That's a thing for me. Prior to this, I just don't watch the news. I don't particularly care for the negative stuff. I mean, if I need to catch a story or if people are speaking on something, then I'll look it up to see what the situation is.
Right.
But other than that, I just try to keep my sanity by avoiding. I don't know if that makes me ignorant in some way. I'm not sure, but that's how I work.
Yeah,
it works for me.
Yeah, I think we, in this internet age, it's something that, especially for those of us who came from a time before the internet, like I think it's easy for us to take for granted the power of the internet. And I don't just mean like websites. I mean like you find out about things from so many different connection points and resources, and you know what I mean. That like that's what the internet is. This interconnectedness, right? And so you don't necessarily have to watch the news. You'll get what's most relevant to you. Like chances are, it's going to come to you.
Oh, at some point, in your day, it's gonna get to you.
Yeah.
So I just try to not. I just try to guess. I guess I'm a glass half full kind of guy. You know, kind of keep my mentality there.
Yeah.
Hopes that nothing brings me down.
Yeah.
Of course, of my day. And that's just how I move, man. Every moment is an opportunity to move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I.
Right. Have you been able to, like, whether it's like adopt new habits or like work on things that you've been meaning to work on but didn't have the time? Like, is there anything like this now available to you that you've been able to get into that?
I had a curtain rod that was hanging.
Mm-hmm.
Long time.
Okay.
So yeah, no, but I'm stuff around the house. Yeah, I have done some stuff around the house that I've been putting off.
Okay.
You know, stuff like that. So it's made me a bit more productive in that way.
Okay.
With regards to me trying to sort of take advantage of this virtual platforms and stuff, I'm realizing that I had to get back into my tech bag and learn some stuff. And figure out how to do some stuff that I wasn't able to do. And then the other thing is, with people being so frantic, things that you may need are no longer available. And now we're just talking about toilet paper.
Right.
Pet gear and stuff that I'm looking for. So I've had to be resourceful and figure out how to, use what I have to make it work and stuff like that. So that's it's just reminding me that I have that ability and I should use it.
Yeah.
Not be so complacent and reliant on, things to just be.
Right.
Because that's what we are. And, we're kind of in this instant sort of place in life. And so, me having to kind of go back to a slower, rhythm of trying to figure something out. Oh, how do I do that? Oh, man, I don't have this readily available.
Right.
What can I do to fix that?
Right.
And so it's kind of taught me to slow down again.
Yeah. That's a good lesson to take from it.
That's
sure.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
For sure.
Well, man, that's kind of pretty much it, man. I really, I don't want to hold you too long, but I really wanted to just get you on and have this conversation.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother.
Anytime you need me, brother.
Thank you, fam. Thank you, man. Word. All right, stay up, man.
You too, man.
All right.